Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 17 to 2023 guys. Now, in Karnataka budget is going to be presented today guys. 86% polling in Tripura amid sporadic violence. Last time I was telling you, having elections in states like Tripura is not easy. Northeast India having elections in one go is not easy because there will be violence always. But states like Nagaland, Meghalaya, and other parts, they're all showing some signs of relief. Earlier, this was one of the biggest issue we had, right? But nowadays, having elections is extremely good and it's in a smooth manner. Third point, 86% polling in Tripura. It's a very big numbers, guys, and it's really good. If you look at Northeast India, almost all the states record good numbers, except few, based on the violence and other things. Others normally participate well, indicating that they respect Indian democracy and they want to be part of Indian democracy. So this must be clear to you all. Fine. So whenever there is a state like Ladakh, like Jammu Kashmir, right? When you talk about Northeast, so when there is any state which tries to say that we want to go out, we want to have something separate, at that point of time, when the people participate in the elections, it itself is an indication that they respect our democratic system. States must pay part of Narega wages, says Union Minister. Yes, I think it's time for us to study about Narega a bit. See guys, Narega is a central sector scheme or centrally sponsored scheme, but money will be mostly given by the central government and state governments don't pay anything in this. It was a time when there was 8 years drought in India. Guys. Please understand this. Somewhere in 1996 to 2004, during this particular period, India had 8 years of drought, because of which rural economy suffered a lot. But if you look, software, services sector, they performed extremely well. But rural economy suffered to the most. It was at this point of time that central government, UPA government at that time decided that we should provide some job opportunities to the rural people. Then they introduced this scheme Narega, where rural people will be given 100 days of employment guarantee. At that time, the minimum wages were somewhere 100, 150. I think now it has gone to 200, 250 based on the states. So now, what is it that we are trying to look here? Over a period of time, rural activities have again revamped. Agricultural activities are going on. Today we have record Rabi season. So, should we still continue giving 100 days, 40 days work mandatorily? Not required, because if farmers are engaged, if workers are engaged, there is no need to provide alternative work. This is the first point, guys. See, I'm not talking about who is correct, who is wrong. I'm talking about the facts. So, if at all, farmers are engaged in work, if they have significant work, then it is not mandatory that we should give 100 days of employment. So if they are happy working there, they should continue there. But what is happening? Even when they are continuing the work there are these middlemen who want to take the money. Now, what they do, they try to create demand for the work through an app. Like, people need work. Government will give the work. These farmers will go and, landless laborers and all will go and work outside. But here, the middlemen try to take the money. Now comes the problem. Now government is saying that mobile phone app based attendance capturing system is mandatory. So they're trying to say that anywhere you have to go for mobile phone app based attendance capturing system. So the app base will try to tell where the person is when he is giving the attendance. He has to show where he is present. Now let me say I have given the work in a village X, and the person who is coming and working there is working in some other village, right? I repeat, I have given work in village X, but the guy who is getting the money is in village Y. Now if he is not in village X, how can he get the money? He shouldn't get the money. So government has made this rule that we will go with mobile based. All these middlemen now they are protesting. Remove this. This is not convenient. This is problematic. Why? Why is it problematic? Because farmers, let me explain this logically, guys. Let us say farmers are in workers are in some agricultural land. They are getting 400 500 rupees per day. So they have to go there, work and earn 400 to 500 rupees. But these middlemen would have told, if you, I will use your name, I'll give 100 rupees to you. I will take 100. Farmers would say fine. And these farmers cannot go against middlemen, because if they say no to middlemen today, tomorrow the middlemen will not give job to these farmers. They will tell some problems are there. So because of this, government ensured that it is mandatory for mobile based app. Fine. Second thing, government is planning for Aadhaar based enable payment system. Now first thing, you have to come and you have to give attendance. Second, I will not give money to the middleman. I will give money to the farmer or the worker. Now you see the change. What happens? Earlier, I used to give money to one account. They used to take and distribute. So now what I'm doing, I'll put directly to your account. Now once 200 comes to you, the middleman cannot come and ask you to give the money, because not everyone will give money back. They will tell it's our money, government has given. So this will create trouble. And can you imagine, 57% people do not have Aadhaar card who are working there. When it comes to freebies, when it comes to many other things, PDS, freebies, houses, Aadhaar card is mandatory and people have. But only in Narega they don't want to give, because it's a huge money, guys. Can you imagine? Almost 65,000 crores. Huge corruption is going on. So it's very, very important to reduce pilferages, guys. What is governance? What is a country's progress? Country's progress is reducing corruption. Today, most of the people, how they think is corruption is better. BJP is bad. Okay, you hate BJP, it's fine. But corruption should not be supported. Answers while writing, always remember that talk about the factual things and give solutions. If government is going for technology usage, it will reduce middlemen, and reducing middlemen is very, very important for the country to progress. Yeah. So guys, now let us look at editorial. Reigning over the capital from above. See, guys, it is about the mayoral elections in Delhi, guys. Now, you see, in Delhi, there are 250 wards, guys, out of which Aam Aadmi Party has got 134, which is comfortable for it to elect its own mayor. But now, there is a provision in the what do you call as municipalities. The governor or the government can appoint 10 aldermen. Fine, 10 aldermen. Now, these aldermen, who are these? They are independent enough to look into the municipalities. That means people who have the authority in the sense not power, authority in terms of knowledge, right? We use the term, he is authority in science, like this. So the meaning here I'm trying to tell, whoever is experts in municipalities, 10 people can be appointed. So now governor has appointed 10 people. So now what is going to happen? Total is 260, right? And these 10 people can also vote. So out of 260, Aam Aadmi Party has 134. So Aam Aadmi Party will easily win. But the point is, Aam Aadmi Party don't want the 10 people to vote because they say it is against the rules. And the 10 people appointed by the governor should not be appointed by him directly. See, guys, in polity, you have nominated members. When they are nominated by the governor, they should be nominated only after the advice of the Council of Ministers. Unfortunately, here the governor has not taken the advice of the Council of Ministers. So this is very simple problem, guys. What governor, while taking any action, should take the advice of the Council of Ministers. But in union territory, lieutenant governor has more powers compared to the governor of a state. So lieutenant governor will take more measures compared to others. So he has taken this measure. Now what is the case? According to Article 243, if I am not wrong, yeah, 243, which deals with Delhi. Fine. Clearly tells us one thing. This, please remember this, which deals with Delhi, clearly tells us only one thing. What is it? That is, any person, whoever is appointed without elections, cannot vote in the meetings of the corporation. Fine? They cannot vote in the meetings of the constitution. This is the point. But the problem is, this is not a meeting, this is an election. Right? So people are playing with the words. The issue has gone to the court, and the court has also told that appointed people cannot vote. Fine, guys? So please try to read Article 243 once, and also municipalities once, guys. Shuffling feet. So yes, every month imports and exports variations will always be there. So they are trying to talk about that. Deep sea fish conservation must not go adrift. Yes, these things can be used for what we call as, like, environmental things and all. See, guys, according to the International Court or United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, one should be aware that 12 nautical miles is called territorial waters. Fine? And 200 nautical miles will be called as exclusive economic zone. Fine? But once the fishermen go into continental slope region, you see, in geography, you might have understood this. You have continental shelf, continental slope, abyssal plains. Gentle slope is called as continental shelf. Steep is called as continental slope, and this is called as abyssal plains. Now, in this case, you get shallow fishing. But here, if you go, it will be deep fishing. Right? Supreme Court has told them you can go here and do the fishing. Tamil Nadu is trying to say that don't go there. It is very important to protect them. And when these fishermen go and try to take more fishes and come, right? Small fishermen cost is reducing. Fine, small fishermen cost is reducing this. Whereas big fishermen are making huge profits. So it's all about the conservation and protection of these guys, nothing much. Fine. So here they are also talking about, if I'm not wrong, yeah, every state should try to determine how much must be allowed to extract fishes. You can't go beyond and try to keep on extracting. So the state government is telling certain things must be reduced. So here what is happening? Exclusive economic zone and other areas, when they are trying to extract more, it would lead to problem, is what the article is trying to tell. So Supreme Court is going consciously and trying to ensure that environment is also important, but through restrictions, fishings must be allowed. So let us see what the Supreme Court is going to give judgment about it. A time to quit. Because in Scotland, the prime minister or the first lady there, she has quit, indicating that in most of the countries, whoever were seen as the major faces are quitting. They're telling that it's time to go and they are leaving. So it's an analysis of that, not required to us. IAF's acquisition of 114 fighter jets to be part of major procurement plan. See guys, there are purchases going on. IAF is planning to purchase 114 fighter jets, and these fighter jets they are planning not only in India but also outside, but majority they are planning that it will be from Make in India. Is don't try to buy hard these purchases and all. Modi opens Adi Mahotsav, says world has a lot to learn from tribes. So yes, tribal administration is very, very important. Government is taking several measures for tribal welfare, like One Dhan Vikas Kendra, 80 lakh self-help groups, budgetary allocation for tribal welfare, Ekalavya model residential schools, providing minimum support price to number of forest produce as well. This I just want you to note these guys. Schemes for tribal communities are important. ED gets all these are not required. Congress questions government on this. EC wraps Congress BJP. See guys, there will be something called model code of conduct just before elections guys. 48 hours before elections, model code of conduct is there, right? But online will be allowed little bit. But these people were trying to do when elections were going on through Twitter, right? See, I told you, election commission says the tweets are violative of the election law as they were made during the 48-hour silence period. So yes, model code of conduct is there. As soon as election dates are given, no new schemes and programs can be launched in the state. It is violative of that. Second, as soon as election dates are there, 48 hours before that, we should be very, very careful. Fine, 48 hours before that, no campaigning is permitted, but they were using Twitter and other things for campaigning. Supreme Court non-committal on early hearing on collegial system. Supreme Court wants time. They don't want to interfere in their own issue. With center unlikely to make any overtures, people of Ladakh brace for the long haul. As I keep telling you guys, this is an issue that we need to be careful about. So, yes, notes on Ladakh will be helpful. So please try to ensure the details about it. Fine. No age bar to register for cadaver organ transplant. So yes, earlier people who were aged above 65 cannot get organ transplant. So now they have removed that. Moreover, earlier it was a case where every state had to ensure, like in Gujarat and all, if you want an organ, then someone from the state itself should donate it. You can't bring it from outside and try to do. It would lead to smuggling and all this. So now they have removed it, and now they are telling that there is no such restrictions. Try tells telecom firms to crack down on SMS spammers. See, guys, earlier through messages, people used to send lot of advertisements. Now, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India said that this is wrong. You cannot send advertisements through messaging, and they removed it. But now messages are still continuing in the name of OTP. Like, you will get some OTP when you touch on it, you will try to get a message about 40%, 50% off, and other things. So that is not permitted, that needs to be cracked down, is what TRA is telling. These are all not important, guys. 12 African cheetahs, South Africa's cheetah, is going to come to India, guys. Now it will be kept in captivity for some time, and then it will be released. Please understand here, is conservation of animals. There are two types, guys. In situ conservation, ex situ conservation. Now I have a forest. Within the forest, I am trying to protect the animals. It is in situ conservation. Fine. Within the forest, if I am trying to conserve, it is in situ conservation. National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, they all come under in situ conservation. Now, when I talk about ex situ conservation, I will take the animal to a zoo, to a botanical garden, or I will take the animal from one forest and I will keep them in another forest and protect them. That is also ex situ. Now, India is getting cheetahs from South Africa to India. So, this is also ex situ conservation. Second thing, India has taken it from South Africa that every year for next 10 years they will send 10 to 12 cheetahs, and as soon as the cheetah comes, it will be very difficult for it to live in our conditions. So under monitored closed conditions they will be living for some time. After that they will be released into the forest where they can do hunting and other activities. In India, it is Kuno, Kuno, Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh, where cheetahs are being brought. Remember, guys, whenever cheetahs are introduced, they can't introduce them in desert because food is not available. They can't release them in evergreen forest because there are more trees. Cheetahs cannot run. They will be introducing them in deciduous forest where trees are less, especially dry deciduous forest in western region of India. Dry deciduous forest is more. In that particular part they will go for this. Clear, guys? Now, India accounts for 52% of world's new leprosy patients, says Mandavia. Since 2005, India said we almost eliminated leprosy. But if you see total leprosy cases in the world, India has almost 50%. So we are again having a plan that by 2030 we are going to reduce leprosy again. It is a chronic bacterial infection, guys, which will affect the skin, nerves, lungs, and eyes. A very, very important problem. Leprosy, you should know what is leprosy there. That's enough. So, guys, these are the issues that were important. Thank you.